Okay, so I live in Portland, Oregon, and the sun sets at like 4:30. So trying to film with natural light is a struggle. Every single time I'm about to film, it's like the sun goes down and then Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Alicia and welcome to the family. Today we're going to be going over 5 of my most anticipated releases for 2021. I think I'll talk about them in publication order. So without any further ado, let's get right into them. I just want to point out that this is not an exhaustive list. I just wanted to pick 5 books that I'm really excited about. Sometimes when there's too many books on a list, I get overwhelmed. So I just wanted to make it a little short. So the first book on this list is going to be Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas, and this is going to be the prequel to The Hate U Give. I did read The Hate U Give earlier this year. I forgot when, maybe around July, August, something like that. I gave it a 5 out of 5. Fantastic read. Highly recommend for you to read it. It talks about racism, colorism. It touches on code switching and growing up in a society that doesn't see you for you. It doesn't see your struggles. It was fantastic and I'm excited for Concrete Rose. In Concrete Rose, we follow Maverick, who's 17 years old at this time, and he's dealing for the drug lords. He's trying to help his mom, who's already working 2 jobs, and his dad's in jail. He thinks he has his life figured out, and then he finds out that he's gonna be a dad. And all of a sudden, things change. He's trying to put himself through school. He's trying to get out of the drug life. He's trying to figure out how to be a dad. And so I think this is going to be a very important book and one that I'm really excited to read. In The Hate U Give, we got to see what it's like to grow up Black from a female perspective. Now we get to see the male perspective, which I think is equally as important. So I'm really excited about this one, and the publication date for this one is January 12th of 2021. The next book on this list will be published on March 2nd of 2021, and this is going to be Klara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. Kazuo Ishiguro is one of my favorite authors. I love how he's able to talk about deeper, meaningful cultural and societal things using stories. That's his forte. He's a storyteller. In Klara and the Sun, we follow Klara. She is an artificial robot who is meant to be a kid's companion. At the store, Klara is very observant of humans and their experience and their daily life, and she sits on that shelf just waiting to be picked up by her kid. And she does. Klara is picked up by a teenager named Josie. She's finally learning what it's like having her human companion, and then Josie gets critically ill. And that's really all we know about the story, but it just already sounds like it's going to be heartwarming and it's going to tug at your heartstrings. So I'm really excited for this one. The third book on this list is by another one of my favorite authors. The publication date for this is April 6th of 2021, and it is Hummingbird, Salamander by Jeff Vandermeer. And in this one, we follow our main character, Jane Smith, who is a security consultant. She receives a weird envelope with a key to a storage unit. Now, the sender of this envelope was named Silvina, and she is now dead, and she is presumed to be this eco-terrorist. And when Jane uses this key to open up this storage locker that has a taxidermied hummingbird and a salamander, she sets off a chain of events that will put her and her family in danger. That's all that we really know about the story so far, but it sounds like it's going to be a dark conspiracy thriller-esque kind of book, and I'm all here for it. It just sounds really intriguing, and again, I love Jeff Vandermeer. I love how weird his stories are, how weird his books are. So I'm ready for this. If it's weird and it's a thriller and it's dark and it's engaging, I'm all here for it. The fourth book on this list is by an author that has kept me intrigued every single time she publishes something, because every single time she writes in a new genre. And you know, I'm also here for that. Author doesn't have to write specifically in one genre, and I like that she's doing that she's pushing boundaries and writing in several genres. The publication date for this one is going to be August 17th of 2021. Last time I checked, there wasn't a cover for it yet, but if there is, I'll leave a photo here. And this is Velvet Was the Night by Silvia Moreno Garcia. Velvet Was the Night is set in 1970s Mexico. It's supposed to have hitmen and government agents and Russian spies, so I'm already super intrigued by it. And in it, we follow our main character, who is named Maite. She is a secretary, and she has a next door neighbor who is a political activist. She's an art student, and she's very vocal during this very tumultuous time in Mexico. Her name is Leonora, and one day she goes missing. Maite then goes on a search for her disappeared neighbor. Along the way, Maite runs into this thug named Elvis, who's also looking for her neighbor. Elvis's and Maite's courses crash, and the rest, I don't know, because I haven't read the book. But sounds so good, so good. This is, I think, like a spy mystery. What genre is this? I have no idea, but I still haven't read Untamed Shore by her, which is her first thriller. Yeah, I'm excited for this one. The last and final book on this list is going to be published November 19th of 2021. I already pre-ordered this book, and it's Remote Control by Nnedi Okorafor. I ended up reading the Binti series earlier this year. It was my first introduction into Afrofuturism, and I was blown away. It was incredible. It was fantastic. Some concepts were like, you know, like over my head, but I really enjoyed the Binti series overall. It did venture a little bit into the heavy and, you know, it was a very introspective series, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, so I'm very excited for Remote Control. Remote Control is another Afrofuturistic sci-fi novella. This one's set in Ghana in the future, I believe. We don't really have a lot of details on this, but we follow our main character, Fatima, and she has an encounter with death. From here, we know that death follows her around, and she sort of becomes an adopted kid to death. And literally, that is all we know. Again, just from those small details, it sounds incredible already, and I can't wait to see what happens. She's supposed to be a very powerful female protagonist, but again, it just sounds really, really, really cool. Nnedi Okorafor has definitely become an author that I really want to follow, and I want to read more of her works. So that was it. Those were the 5 books that I'm highly anticipating in 2021. Let me know if you've heard about these. Are you excited for any of these? Let me know your thoughts down below. I can't wait for it to be 2021 already. I can't wait for it to be Christmas. I accidentally already opened one of my Christmas presents. Oops. It was a packaged addressed to me, and you know, I opened it and I didn't know. It's not my fault. I could pretend like I didn't see it and then rewrap it and then reopen it and then pretend to be surprised. But like, why? You know, I think we can all use a little bit of leniency this year, right? I will stop rambling. I'll see you guys on the morrow, and happy holidays, y'all. Bye.